Good evening. Thank you all for being here. I want you all to take a second and look to the person to your left and to your right. Because you're looking at a potential master gravy maker. That's what I'm here to talk to you about today. I'm here to describe to you the fundamentals on how to make gravy. More importantly, gravy for biscuits and gravy. Now, I don't know about you, but I enjoy a good gravy to go with my biscuits in the morning. Now, from the time I started learning how to make this gravy, I've always been an early bird in the family. I would wake up on a Saturday or a Sunday real early, and I would be in the kitchen making breakfast for everybody. From bacon to eggs, grits, waffles, I go all out. But the one thing that my family really looks forward to is the gravy I make for the biscuits and gravy. Hopefully, by today, when we get done with this speech, you guys will have the fundamentals to be able to apply this to what you do in the kitchen, and you will have your own gravy to make one day and pass it down from family to family. Now, in order to get this gravy going, you're going to need a few things. First thing you're going to want to need is a pot, medium-sized pot. Now, this medium-sized pot's for two things. One is to brown the meat. The next is to cook the gravy in. The next thing you'll need a colander. And the colander there is so that you can drain the excess of grease off the meat that you have browned. The next thing after that you're going to want about a quart of heavy whipping cream. After the heavy whipping cream, you're going to want about a half to a stick of butter. Wrong there. You're going to also want a half a cup or so of flour. And needless to say, depending on how meaty you want your gravy, half a pound to a pound of sausage or whatever flavor, whatever meat you want to cook with it. Now, to get started, the first thing you're going to want to do is brown the meat. You're going to set the oven up, and you're going to sit there and brown the meat, and you're going to break it up. And you're going to break it up as you're browning the meat, and you're going to keep breaking it up. And you're going to break it up in small pieces so you see it like this. Once you have that and everything's evenly browned and it's cooked, you're going to take that meat and you're going to dump it into a colander, like you see here. And it's going to drain off the excessive grease. And you're going to let it sit there. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to grab that pot and you're going to put it right back on the stove. You're not going to rinse it out. You want to keep those juices and the seasoning from cooking that sausage in that pot. Now you're rolling into making the roux, which is pretty much the fundamentals, is the basics for making a good gravy, is having a good roux. In order to make this roux, what you're going to want to do is you're going to take about a half a stick of butter and you're going to melt it in that pot. And once that butter is melted down, you're going to slowly add a tablespoon of flour each time. And you're going to slowly do it and keep mixing it up. You don't want to go too much, too fast, because then you might get too thick. But you're going to keep slowly adding a tablespoon of flour at a time, and you're going to keep mixing it up. And you're going to keep mixing it up. And then you're going to want to get about the consistency of peanut butter. Once you get to about the consistency of peanut butter, that is when you have your roux, and it's set up pretty good. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to take that quart of heavy whipping cream, and you're going to slowly add it into that pot, because you want to temper it. You don't want to shock the roux with the cold of the heavy whipping cream, because then it will cause it to separate later on. We want to keep it creamy, you want to keep it whole, you don't want it to separate. So you're going to slowly add this heavy whipping cream in to the point where it starts tempered up. And you're going to keep mixing it in. Slowly you're going to keep putting in the heavy whipping cream, and you're going to keep putting in the heavy whipping cream, and then you're going to get up to where you put the whole quart in there. It's going to be thick. You might think it's too thin, but I assure you it's not, because once you add the meat, it'll also absorb up some of that moisture, and it'll thicken it up pretty good too as well. So once you get that stirred up and it's tempered and it's good to go, you're going to reach over where that meat has been draining in that colander, and you're going to grab that and you're going to put it into that mixture you have right now. And then you're going to stir that mixture up with all that meat inside, and you're going to want to evenly distribute that meat throughout the gravy, or throughout that mix. Once you have that, this is where you can start checking the thickness of it. You know, you want to make sure that you have a certain thickness, not too thick, not too thin. And what you want to do with the consistency you're looking for, I figured out would be, for me to figure out what I think is best, is I use a spoon. And I take a spoon and I dip it right inside the gravy like that, and I pull it up. When I pull it up and I see big chunks of the meat stuck on there, like you see here, I know it's too thick. It's holding on too much, it's too thick. I don't like it that way. My family doesn't like it that way. What you want is when you stick that spoon in and you pull it out, you want it to look where you have small pieces of the meat stuck to it. That's what you're looking for. If you are too thick, you can add water, and you can do all that stuff. You can add water and thin it down. If you're too thin, you can slowly add the flour and mix the flour up. But you got to do that gradually, because if it goes too much, then you got too thick. Now is when you start adding the seasoning and spices, salt and pepper. You're going to season up the spice, you're going to season up the taste, and once you get it to where you like it, that's it. Your gravy's done. That's it. Now today, I showed you very simply how to make gravy for your biscuits and gravy. I hope that I challenge each and every one of you to go out and look this up. It's going to be on YouTube. And try it for yourself and let me know what you come up with. I promise you, if you put forth the effort that I did, you will have a family recipe that your family will be more than happy to wake up early for on the weekends for them to eat it. Thank you very much. You guys have a wonderful day.